prayer for my parents' peace. If someone asked me what the greatest gift God has given me is, I would answer without hesitation, it's my parents. Father, ... mother. Two simple words. Yet they hold an ocean of love, a lifetime of sacrifice I can never repay. Perhaps throughout my life, I've said many things and prayed for many blessings, but there is one prayer I haven't said enough. A prayer for my parents' peace. I still remember those early mornings of childhood, when my parents woke up before sunrise to prepare a simple breakfast. Back then, I didn't know that behind those smiles were countless worries, bills, school fees, health, and the uncertainty of tomorrow. I ran to school, carefree, believing the world was always safe, because my parents stood silently between me and every storm. Now that I've grown older, I finally understand. My parents were never as strong as I thought. They only pretended to be so I could walk in peace. But deep down, they carried sleepless nights, quiet fears, and tears no one ever saw. One evening, I saw my mother sitting under a dim lamp, holding her old Bible, her eyes weary from reading. I asked, "Mom, are you tired?" She smiled. "It's okay, dear. God still gives me strength to pray for our family." I said nothing, but something inside me broke open. I realized then the peace I live in was born from her silent prayers. Some people only realize the value of their parents when they're gone. I don't want to be one of them. I want to be grateful now, while I can still hold their hands, while I can still say thank you, while I can still love them. Honor your father and mother, that it may go well with you, and you may live long on the earth. Ephesians 6:2. Lord, today I come not to ask anything for myself, but to pray for my parents, the ones who have loved me more than themselves. Please keep them in your peace, not only peace in their bodies, but peace in their souls, the kind that rests in the assurance that you hold everything in your hands. I once heard someone say, parents are the only ones who pray for you even after you've hurt them. And I know it's true. I've heard them before, spoken words that made my mother cry, stayed silent when my father deserved gratitude. Yet, they never stopped loving me. Not for a single day when I failed, when everything fell apart. The first voice I heard was my mother's. Don't be afraid, child. This too shall pass. God will make a way. My father said nothing. He just placed his hand on my shoulder, his eyes steady as if to say, even if the world gives up on you, I won't. In that moment, I understood. A parent's love is a reflection of God's love, unconditional, unending, and full of grace. As a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. Psalm 103-13. There are nights I can't sleep, and I suddenly think of my parents sleeping somewhere far away, their hair now silver with years. I wonder, is Mom's back hurting tonight? Is Dad still up, fixing something in the house? Those thoughts make my heart ache, because I know time doesn't wait. Each day they grow older, and I'm still chasing after success, sometimes forgetting that the greatest success is seeing them smile. Lord, if I could ask one more thing, teach me to pause, to stop and call them, to say thank you, to pray for them before it's too late. Someone once said, when you pray for your parents, God smiles, because he knows you're learning to love like he does. And that's what I want, to love them not only with words, but with action, to live kindly, humbly, gratefully, faithfully. Once, when I came home, my mother was standing at the door. She didn't say anything, she just smiled. A simple smile, yet so warm, as if to say, no matter how the world changes, a mother's love never will. My father was sitting on the porch, quiet as always, looking far away. But I knew inside that silence was a whole world of love. He's not good with words, but every nail he hammered, every meal he cooked, every quiet reminder was his way of loving. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish one brings grief to his mother. Proverbs 10:1. Lord, I lift my parents up to you. Touch their bodies where the pain lingers, where the nights are restless. Give them peaceful sleep, and let each morning greet them with a light of grace. Touch their hearts, so they may find joy in the smallest things, a bird's song, a warm cup of tea, a grandchild's laughter, because when my parents are at peace, I am at peace to dot. And if one day they are no longer here with me, help me remember their love never truly leaves. It lives on inside me, to keep loving, to keep praying, to keep living as they taught me, with gentleness, patience, and trust in you. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called children of God. Matthew 5:9. There are nights when I sit quietly, listening to the ticking of the clock in my small room. Each tick reminds me that time is still moving, and the moments spent with my parents, though ordinary, are in fact sacred treasures. I can never reclaim. I remember how my mother used to say, when you were little, every time you were sick, I stayed up all night just to place my hand on your forehead to see if you still had a fever. Now that I'm grown, I realize a mother's worry never fades. It simply changes shape. Has my child eaten well? Are they sad? Have they drifted away from God? Lord, today I want to ask you to teach me how to respond to that love with action. Not just by saying, I love my parents, but by truly honoring them with my life, listening, understanding, and being there when they need me. Because sometimes parents don't need anything grand. They just need a phone call, a hug, or to hear the words, I'm home, and their hearts are at peace. I used to think that to honor my parents, I had to achieve great things, earn a lot of money, buy them everything they wanted. But Lord, now I see what they truly need isn't wealth, but presence. To sit beside them, listen to their stories, laugh together, and pray together, because peace doesn't always come from what we have, but from who sits beside us. Listen to your father who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Proverbs 23:22. I know there are times I've been impatient when they repeat themselves. When mom worries too much, when dad gives advice I don't want to hear. I've sighed, I've grown annoyed. But then you remind me, one day you will long to hear their voices again. Even the words that once made you tired. And I weep, because I know every word from them carries love, even if they don't know how to express it. Lord, help me be patient with my parents as you have been patient with me. When they grow weak, when their memory fades, help me not to be irritated or distant, but to speak with the same gentleness they once spoke to me when I was small. One afternoon, I saw my father sitting quietly in the yard, his eyes gazing into the distance. I asked, Dad, what are you thinking about? He whispered, I'm thinking of my parents. They've been gone a long time. His voice grew soft, carrying years of memory. In that moment, I understood love across generations is connected through prayer. And now, as I pray for my parents, I am continuing that same thread of love, guarding a legacy unseen but eternal. Lord, you have been our dwelling place throughout all generations. Psalm 92:1. Lord, please let my parents know they are not alone. Let every ordinary day of theirs be covered with your grace. Remind them that old age is not an ending, but a deeper journey, a season to walk even closer with you. Renew their joy. When they are sad, give them comfort. And when they are lonely, remind them their child is praying for them, even from far away. Sometimes I wonder, what keeps my parents faithful after all the hardships they've faced? And I realize it's their trust in you. They don't have everything, but they know the one who holds everything. I once saw my father bow his head over a simple meal and pray, Thank you, Lord, that we can still be together today. It wasn't gratitude for the food, but for presence, for togetherness in grace. Lord, teach me that lesson, to be content, to be grateful, and to love in every circumstance. Don't let greed, busyness, or the chase for dreams blind me from what truly matters, the love of family. Because I know, if I gained the whole world but lost my parents, my heart would still be empty. Where there is love, there God is also. 1 John 4:16. One day, I walked past a hospital. I saw a young man pushing his mother's wheelchair. Her face was lined with wrinkles, but her eyes were filled with light, the light of peace. It made me think of my own mother, the one who once held my hand when I could barely walk, and now I wish I could do the same for her. Lord, teach me to love while I still can. Let not the words "I'm sorry" or "I miss you" be spoken only through tears of regret. Teach me to care for them from the heart, not out of duty, but out of deep gratitude. When I pray for my parents, I also pray for myself. Transform me, Lord, into a child who is faithful, patient, thankful, and strong in faith. Help me glorify you through the way I honor my parents. Because if I claim to love you, yet fail to love them, then my love is not yet true. Whoever does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. 1 John 4:20. Lord, let every day I still have my parents be a day of blessing. Let every small conversation, every simple meal, every hand I get to hold become a precious memory, so that one day, when I look back, I will know I loved them well. Help me remember, no one will wait for me forever. Love while there is still time. Pray while I can still hear their Amen. Lord, thank you that my parents are still here. Thank you that our small home still glows with light each night. Thank you for the sound of my father's voice, for my mother's laughter, those everyday sounds that, in truth, are the most beautiful music in the world. There are mornings when I wake up and hear birds singing outside the window. Sunlight gently streaming through the curtains like a quiet blessing. On mornings like that, my heart feels a deep peace, and I know that is your grace, Lord, because every day I open my eyes and see that my parents are still here with me, is a gift beyond compare. I remember once asking my mother, "Mom, are you ever afraid of getting old?" She smiled softly and said, "Yes, I am, but I'm not afraid of dying. I'm only afraid of living without enough strength to love." Those words have stayed with me for years. They taught me that true peace is not having everything, but learning to love, even in the midst of imperfection. And my parents, they are the ones who have shown me how to live that truth every single day, Lord. Thank you for my parents, simple people, without fame or wealth, yet possessing a faith stronger than any treasure, I have seen my mother kneel in prayer in her small room, a dim yellow light falling on her wrinkled face, and I understood that it was her quiet prayers that have kept our family standing. I have seen my father, weary after a long day, still holding my mother's hand to pray before sleep. Simple words of thanksgiving, yet filled with holy strength. A small family, but built upon the rock of faith. The house built on the rock will not fall when the rain comes and the wind blows. Matthew 7:25. Lord, please help me preserve the legacy of my parents, not material possessions, but their unwavering faith and love. Help me live as they have lived, with humility, gratitude, patience, and kindness. Let me continue their prayers, so that even when they are gone, their voices will still echo in my heart, like an eternal flame that never goes out. There are afternoons when I see my mother sitting by the porch, holding her old Bible, its pages yellowed, its corners worn. She turns each page slowly, smiling as she reads. I ask, Mom, don't you ever get tired of reading the same words? She replies, God's word is never old because my heart changes every day. That answer leaves me speechless. And I tell myself, if I could love God and love my parents with the same steadfastness my mother has for His word, then I would truly be walking in the right path. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. Isaiah 26:2-3. Lord, please grant peace to my parents, not only in body, but deep within their souls. Let them sleep in your rest, and awaken each morning knowing that every new day is a miracle. Let each step they take, no matter how slow, be guided by your hand. Let every breath they draw be filled with your love. Sometimes, when I see them smile, I feel so small. All my ambitions, all the world's noise and competition fade away before that smile. Because, as long as they are at peace, I have everything I need, Lord. If there comes a day when I must be far from them, please be with them in my place. Be their light in the darkness, their joy in loneliness, their hope in weariness. Teach me to love them the way you have loved me, with a love that demands nothing, calculates nothing, and never fades. We love because He first loved us. 1 John 4:19. I know one day my parents will grow even older. Their hands will tremble, their eyes will dim, their memories may fade. There will come a time when they might call me by the wrong name, or forget stories we once shared. But I know you remember everything. You remember every prayer, every tear, every smile, and you will not let a single one be forgotten, Lord, when that day comes. Please give me the strength to care for them with all the love in my heart, just as they cared for me when I couldn't even speak. Let me not complain, but give thanks that I still have the chance to serve them. Help me see you in every small act, washing my mother's hands, helping my father sit up, cooking a simple meal, because when I serve my parents in love, I am serving you. Whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. Matthew 25-40, Lord. When I pray for my parents, I also ask you to heal the wounds between us. If there are misunderstandings, please mend them. If there is distance, please bridge it. If there are hurtful words, teach us to forgive, as you have forgiven us, because I know love is never perfect, but it becomes beautiful when placed in your hands. Once, I dreamed I was a child again, running down a country road. My parents stood at the end, waving, calling me home. In that dream there was no worry, no distance, only light and laughter. When I awoke, I sat quietly for a long time, and I understood you were calling me to return. To return to gratitude, to tenderness, to the simple love I once knew. Honor your father and mother, so that you may live long, and that it may go well with you. Ephesians 6:2-3. Lord, thank you that my parents taught me to believe in you, that they were the first to show me what prayer means, and what it means to love without expecting anything in return. Thank you that whenever I am weak, I know my parents are still praying for me, whispering my name in their quiet petitions. There is no prayer more powerful than a mother's, and no faith more steadfast than a father's. Through them, I have learned that faith is not just saying, I believe, but living each day in your faithfulness. Now, when I pray for my parents, I don't just ask that they live long. I ask that they live joyfully, peacefully in the presence of your love. Remind me each day to say, thank you, Mom and Dad. I love you. Because sometimes we think they know, but they still need to hear it. The tongue has the power of life and death. Proverbs 18:21. Lord, let me be a blessing in my parents' lives. Let every word, every action, every choice I make bring them joy and cause them to thank you. Let my life itself be a prayer for them, a living expression of love and gratitude. And one day, when they close their eyes and leave this world, let me not drown in sorrow, but rest in hope, knowing they have simply gone to your house, where there's no pain, no tears, no death, but everlasting peace. I believe that when my journey is done, you will let me see them again in a place full of light, where I can embrace them once more and say, I have kept the faith. I have loved as you taught me to love. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain. Revelation 21:4. Loving Lord, thank you for this journey, a journey of love, of tears, of prayer. Teach me to live each day fully, to love my parents with a grateful heart. And keep me to that I may never forget what they've done for me. For everything I am today began with the quiet prayers of two ordinary people with extraordinary faith. Now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. 1 Corinthians 13:13.